That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Hi everybody, it's Gene Simmons, and you're not. This is Kiss My Collectibles podcast. Don't you know that?
Hello everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Kiss My Collectibles. I am one of your co-hosts, Jason Herndon, and with me, as always, is...
Buck Nickland.
And...
I don't know. I can't remember my name at this time of night. I don't know. Something like Buck Nickland as well. Buck Nickland the second, probably.
Buckless Nickland?
Buckless. Yes,
right.
Exactly.
Joe Lalich and Nicholas Buckland.
Yeah,
because
us.
those two fools can't seem to get an intro right or something like that.
Yeah. It's 11:30 at night, so
Yeah. 7 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
So... Anyway, thanks for joining us today, gang. We're back for another episode of Kiss My Collectibles. This week we're going to jump back into a Top 5 Essentials episode. This week we're going to do the Top 5 Essential Australian Items. So it can be merchandise, it can be vinyl. You know, we're going to do a little round table, talk about our lists. Of course, Nicholas will have an advantage in this, and then we'll try to come together with a list of the top 5 essential Australian items. But
I was saying I'm an essential Australian item.
oh, that's right. That's true.
Let's not get crazy.
Yeah. But before we get into all of that, let's do our normal plugs and everything. Be sure to join us on Facebook in the Kiss My Collectibles and Kiss My Wax groups. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Click the bell, ring that icon, and so it'll notify you anytime we put up a new episode. And give this video a thumbs up, like while you're there. Follow us on Instagram at Kiss My Collectibles and on Twitter at KM Collectibles. And then, last but not least, you can head over to our Patreon page and subscribe. It's patreon.com/kissmycollectibles. If you want to give $1 a month to help out the podcast, we'd really appreciate it. Also, I forgot. We have swag over at clicktshop.com. You can get your Kiss My Collectibles and Kiss My Wax t-shirts, mugs, socks, whatever else they sell over there. Lots of cool designs, way beyond our stuff. So clicktshop.com, click with a K. So that's it. I'm out. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Yep.
He does that part like a pro every time out.
Yeah. So I guess just a quick update on the Ace Frehley Space Invader 5th Anniversary Edition vinyl. We have approved the masters, and so that should be going off to pressing very soon, I would say within the next few days. Joe has finished designing the cover, the gatefold, front and back covers and everything. That has been approved and should be going off to printing soon. So hopefully those two things will meet up. Ace will be signing the jackets, sending them over to the pressing plant where they get assembled and everything. And then from there, we'll be shipping off to our other printer that's doing all of our other goodies. So we're still shooting for the end of November, but it could go into December. We hope, definitely hope to have it into everyone's hands by Christmas for sure. But that's where we are in the process. So just a little heads up on that.
It just takes the time it takes, right?
Takes the time it takes. I mean, that's you put a project together. That's just be patient, and we'll get it to you. It's definitely moving. So
yep, in progress.
Yep,
the wheels are in motion.
That's right. So, all right. Anything else to cover, announcement wise or anything? No. These guys look thrilled to be here today. Both of them.
It's weird. I should be the Australian because I'm a complete night owl. I'm up all hours of the night. So this, if it were night for me, it would be way easier. And for Nicholas, I suspect it's the same, right? If it were morning, other than like
Yeah.
getting
Other than children interrupted.
Yeah,
I'd be brushing hair while I'm put those shoes on. It's like I'm doing the podcast.
Hannah.
No, not those shoes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, absolutely, me too. If I had my oh God, banned again.
Banned again.
If I had my choice, we'd be doing it at night too, Joe. But we want to have Nicholas a part of it, so
yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Mm.
Maybe that.
I don't know.
No, we can do some switches. Yeah.
All right. So
that's why you always see me with a cup of coffee every time we're recording, right? Because it's for me the crack of morning. So anyway, that's why we look sleepy and shell shocked. Jason and I all the time, and Nicholas is begging to go to bed.
Yeah, so it's an hour earlier for me than Joe. So
it is.
Getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning just to get prepared to do a Kiss podcast. That's fun.
We suffer for
we've
people.
just hit daylight. We've just hit daylight saving, so we're an hour later now. So I'm an hour later for this as well. And for the first time ever, there's actually coffee in my coffee cup, not wine. So I'm actually just trying to stay awake. Okay. So, very good.
Not like the last time when you were getting soused with
sloshed
with the
exactly.
legend Danny
That's
Dale.
and everyone's. Oh, don't say that name. I haven't even got anything. You just got to give my liver a break, so no one mentioned his name for a week. Yeah.
If we mention him 3 times, he'll appear on screen.
Yeah.
All right. So, 5 essential.
No.
What?
No.
Oh, what's in the box?
No, host guy. Yeah.
What's in the box?
All right.
In the box.
Yeah.
What's in the box?
I'm gonna open it.
Oh, what's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
All right. So what's in the box? Who wants to go first? All right. Down everybody. I'll go first.
Off to a rousing
This is the
start.
sleepy episode.
Yeah.
Tell you what, man. We'll have to find a couple of co-hosts or something that are awake. So,
Told you, I'm better on whiskey.
Aren't we all really?
So, our good friends over at E1 have put out this version, 10th anniversary of Anomaly. And this is the limited yellow 180-gram version. It's got the alternate cover. And what's cool about the cover is all of this text here is embossed, and then there's this is kind of matte finish, and then there's this figure of Ace here is it's very glossy looking. I mean, it's tough to tell on camera and describe it to anyone.
Can you take it out of its shrink wrap?
I'm going to I've got another copy over here. So
it has. There's a spot varnish on Ace. So there's a dull varnish on the rest of the record. And so when you hold it to the light, you get that nice reflection on his silhouetted figure there. So it's cool.
Yes, it's super cool. Mm-hmm. So anyway, this is actually the autograph package. And when you buy the autograph package, I don't know if there's still any of those left. There may be, but when you buy the autograph package, you get an extra cover, and it has Ace's signature on it. That's how they're doing it over there. Instead of the package, the actual whole package having Ace's autograph, you get an extra jacket. So
you see this more and more, and we suspect it's for shipping issues, right? Shipping costs, those kinds of things. They don't want to be shipping full record packages around the country, I would assume, and having artists have to deal with full record, have to deal with all that. So they send out
probably,
the cost on a jacket by itself when you're printing thousands and thousands of them is fairly nominal. So they're just over printing and sending them out that way. So yeah, typically I think I did a Rob Zombie package where it came like that, a Joe Satriani package, and a Kendrick Lamar package where I got all of the different records were signed, and then you got a separate jacket and then a sealed copy of the record, probably I would assume from a different, maybe not a different plant, because they all kind of come together, don't they?
Yeah,
but in any event, that seems like the way that people are doing it nowadays.
So even on the back, the little dots that are there.
Yeah, the
And
little.
down here in the corner, it has the spot varnished Ace Frehley silhouette there.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it looks really cool, and of course this is a gatefold, and it's the same gatefold. It has. This is the old cover, and then they replaced
better
it.
Now.
Yes, it replaced it with this.
I
agree.
I never liked that original cover.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of it either, but I think this is way, way, way better. I really enjoy this. It looks killer. So.
What does the yellow vinyl look like, or that's still in the sealed one?
It's still sealed. Yeah. Well, let's open it up.
I want to open up.
What? What? Jason, you're gonna do this?
Yeah.
Oh man, I never thought you would do that.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
By the way, I got the same package from E1. Thanks to the very cool people over there for sending those out to us. It was very nice of them.
So you get this little piece. It's got a simulated Ace Frehley signature on it, and then it's got reflections and stuff. I guess where Ace is talking about the songs, and then that kind of information, and then.
I don't remember recording that at all.
What?
What album?
Then there's the yellow vinyl.
Wow, that's great. That looks great.
And the label.
That looks super cool.
Yeah, it's a well
nice.
done package. So 10th anniversary of Anomaly. So and then I got another little piece in. This is a coin merchandise, so I haven't been able to show any coin merchandise lately. But this is something I never owned when I was originally collecting before I sold my collection, and it's, one day maybe I'll have one in the box. I doubt it, because I don't have the $3,000 or whatever it costs these days to buy that kind of stuff. But I got a toy guitar.
Nice.
Sorry, did you say that's your first one, Jason?
Yeah, I've never had it before. Never had it in my collection. Yep.
That's one that's been on my list, but as we've talked about the kind of collector that I am, I would really want it. I mean, obviously everybody wants it in the package, but it would be something that that's probably the only way I would buy it, I think. Or a super, super nice version of it, which that seems to be, right, Jason? You don't have the cutouts are still intact, which is really nice.
Correct. That's the reason why I bought it, because normally the sticker is over these F holes here, and they're normally punched through. Now it's getting pretty close on the Peter side, but it's not punched through, and it's not punched through on the Paul side very much. But it'll definitely display well in the display case if that ever gets put up. But yeah, I've never owned one. I've always wanted to buy one, and I found a good deal. Some guy put it up on eBay for a buy it now price that was, I just happened to see it pop up, and I snagged it immediately. So if I can find a place to sit it here.
Which is surprising these days, to say a reasonable price on eBay, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I'll go ahead and talk about the price. I wouldn't say I got a deal on it. But I wouldn't. I think I paid right there for it for a loose one. It went up for buy it now $300.
Okay, that's about what I would have said.
Right, and that's so I was like, a lot of times you'll see them posted for a little bit more, and they'll sit there for a while, and for bids and stuff like that. And then the ones that people put up for like $99. With a bid, it usually ends up going for a little more than $300 or something like that, because you get into that bidding war. So when I saw this, I was like, there are no fighting, no bid wars or anything. I'm just going to buy it. And I just, I looked at the pictures real quick, and I went ahead and bought it. So,
and there are variations, right, Nicholas? Not that you're the complete, that you have everything set to memory, but there's a couple of different. Is it the tuning pegs are a different color?
So. Yeah, we'll flip them up here, but there are two versions. There's the standard version, and then there's the bigger version, which is what one says for ages 4 and up, and the other one I think says for ages 6 and up. And the other version has the steel strings on the first 3, and then the nylon as the rest. And you'll notice the difference because I think it's the other version is the one in the actual more box kind of packaging, and
right.
And the standard version was the one on the card.
And it's kind of like plastic wrapped with the really heavy plastic, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And the main differences are that there's a slightly different KISS logo on the headstock. The fret markers are different on them. They're instead of dots, they're like kind of almost like rectangles. Yeah, you probably can see it in the book.
That's what I'm doing.
Yes, exactly.
Hottestbrandbook.com.
Yeah. You can also see Jay. It's reflected your whole room. Yeah.
So
my eyes.
So 3 versions, shown in the book.
Yeah.
And so that one that.
But it looks like it. Yeah. There's another black one, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, black fretboard that doesn't have a logo up top. So it's pretty interesting stuff.
Now that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that one's a weird one. Yeah.
Go ahead, Nicholas.
No, I was going to say that seems to be because the black one seems to be appearing in Peter Frampton and Bee Gees and I forget the other brand that did them at the same time. So I reckon they use different parts for it because strangely that headstock doesn't have any KISS logo on it on the black variant.
Right.
And the black variant's very hard to find, so I wouldn't be surprised if they just piece them together from other things they had on those other guitars. Yeah,
that's what I was going to ask. I wonder why in production on something like that, it now makes sense when you say that they were just kind of piecing it together from other parts and like, hey, we need another 12 of these or whatever, and kind of putting them together, whatever it was. But those seem like weird decisions to make. Oh, we're going to change the fretboard. So yeah, I was wondering why those changes would have ever been made. I bet the band wasn't even being consulted at that point, and
I'm sure not.
Yeah. So
no. Have you got the guitar just to show that up again, Jason? The headstock too. The actual tuning pegs are on the back. You can see them.
Yes, that's correct.
On the back of it, whereas on the other version, they're on the top, like they would be sort of on a normal guitar as well. So that's also another part variant too.
And do you think that was do you think this is an earliest version?
That's the kids version. So that's the ages 4 and up, the one that would be in the flat pack kind of thing, and the other one, the deluxe version, I forget what the exact name is, the 6 and up with the steel strings and the different headstock. Yeah.
Huh,
interesting.
Yeah, but you always see that one seeming to be sold out of its pack more. That seems to be the one that came out a lot, and then the other one sort of came out.
So you think that one was most widely available?
I think so, yeah.
I saw a video not long ago. I think it was of maybe Steve Vai he was giving some talk somewhere, and somebody handed up a kid's guitar to him.
Yeah.
It was like a small size kid, and then he just proceeded to absolutely destroy on this tiny kid's guitar. And you're just like, okay, so it's not the tool, it's the player.
That's right. I was going to try to tune that up and and just play a little song. It's impossible to tune up. So.
I think I saw Mike Portnoy did a whole drum thing on one of those like kids kind of kits.
Kitty,
like,
Hello Kitty.
Hello Kitty. Drum set. That was good too. Yeah.
Yeah, Mike Portnoy, he's my favorite drummer.
Yeah.
So shall I go next?
Right. Yeah, you can go next.
So I sent this over to Jason. I've been going through record collections recently, and I found this in the collection. It is K-Tel's Pure Power as advertised on TV from 1977.
Pure Power from K-Tel is hot off the charts. 20 fantastic hits. Original stars ELO. It's a living thing. England Dan and John Ford Coley. That's a forever without you. Gary Wright. Alice Cooper. War. Elvin Bishop. Boss Gag. And Kiss. You'll be a hard luck woman. Blue Oyster Cult.
And if you can see down there at the bottom.
Yep, right in the middle.
Yeah, you've got the Destroyer, a little logo icon there, along with Hall & Oates, England Dan, and John Ford Coley.
I saw that photo, England Dan. He looks
Silvers. There you go. And Alice Cooper.
And Alice Cooper, wow.
Yeah. So it looks like a K-Tel compilation from Minnetonka, Minnesota. Yeah. So
did you purify yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka?
What?
No. Purple Rain?
Well, for starters, you have to purify yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
What?
You have to purify yourself in Lake Minnetonka.
I mean, yeah, I've seen it, but yeah, I don't know well enough to.
That's classic.
Yeah.
Anyway,
okay, Jason.
I wonder. Oh, I wonder if it's where Gene got his book, Gene Simmons on Power: My Journey Through the Corridors of Power, and how you can get more power.
Power. Who wants power?
Power. Yeah.
Yeah. So this has Hard Luck Woman in it on side 1, track 2. So there you go.
That would kind of match Hall and Oates and that, because it's very Rod Stewart sounding. So it's you can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on the back, what's interesting too is, I don't know why they did this, but then they've got the silvers again. They're sort of hawking some of the records of some of the artists on the back. ELO, Alice Cooper, Doobie Brothers, and the silvers there, but not Kiss, who at the time would have been absolutely massive in '77, obviously, right?
Right.
So
I wonder how many of those kinds of K-Tel compilations are out there with Kiss on it.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, there's no telling.
Anyway, K-Tel's Pure Power. So if you're out there looking, that's one. And then another one. So yeah, just a boring old extra copy of Dynasty.
Yeah.
Is that from any special printing or anything like that? No. Teardrop edition. I don't know.
No. So this is we had talked about it, I think a couple episodes ago. I think it was a want list item, right? One of the things that I was out searching for. So those of you who don't know, this is the straitjacket version of Dynasty.
Yep.
So you've got the little edge of the straitjacket there, and a little bit of the non-airbrushed portion there.
Yep.
Yeah. So there you go. Nothing different about it other than a recrop or a. I'd have to really look at them side by side to see and kind of do some measuring to see if it's really a recrop or if it's just a missed retouch sort of airbrushing proposition there. So it would be interesting to.
Didn't we work out it's not really they're not really wearing straitjackets on that. It's actually white skivvies.
Yes.
I think in the original photo.
Yeah, they've got those white, almost like long underwear kind of a thing on underneath. So. Yeah, so I was really happy to add this. This is, I think, quickly becoming one of the more popular misprints out there. I think people are finally waking up to this, and it can fetch a bit of a pretty penny these days.
Yeah. We've talked about it a lot in the history of this podcast, and it really has a huge significance in the history of this of all of this, because a post on that record over 4 years ago in another vinyl group is what caused me to start Kiss My Wax, and so it's pretty interesting. But what I wanted to bring up is, on the 8-track versions of Dynasty, on many 8-track versions, at least the original printings of those, and on some of the cassette versions, I believe you can. I mean, it's clear you can see the uncropped version of that photo.
Yeah,
but finding
you get the chins in as well, don't you?
Correct. You get
it goes wider. It's a wider crop.
Right. Yeah. But finding the vinyl uncropped like that is very, very difficult. Joe won that one. I saw that and sent it to you, right?
You did, yeah.
And then see, I do help you out on collecting. And then I saw
just only
one,
to spend my money.
That's right. And then I saw one. I saw another in a lot sell a few days ago that a member of Kiss My Wax has already posted in the group again. It was just in another lot of records where whoever had it had no idea what it was, and they look up and get it.
Yeah,
so.
These people, if they're not Kiss fans who are selling them, have got to be like, holy crap! These records are going for hundreds of dollars. But the reality is, they just have something that they don't know
Right.
about. It would be like finding a Live 2 misprint or something like that in a stack of records, and a couple of us jump in and see it, and start bidding it up. So I was glad to get that. So it's a fun one to have in the collection.
Yep.
So for the people who don't know about that one, is that's part of the first pressing, and then when they fixed it, that's still called the first pressing? Because the pressings refer to the
It's
vinyl
interesting.
itself.
I don't really know how it falls. Do you, Jason? Know how that falls in the? I don't know that it was if it was a correction or if it was just one plant who had the wrong crop in the. I don't really know.
I would say that description is probably what happened. It's one plant that had the wrong crop or something like that. It's all first pressing. They're all the same, plates. They're being done at the same time or approximately in the same time, and and it's kind of like, like today. Back then, you're pressing millions of records, and like today with vinyl, if you buy a copy of Kiss Alive 2, the 2014s right now, like if Joe's store were to buy that from me and put it in his shop, and it's now 2019, is that a first pressing?
Yeah, it could be technically a 9th pressing or a 24th pressing.
Correct.
Or whatever.
That's the thing.
Because
but I think
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I think when you get into differentiating pressings is when you change plates. And with so few records being pressed, they're using these plates way longer than they did back then. You would press a 500,000 records and change plates, or less than that and change plates. Well, you're not even pressing anywhere close to that now. You're pressing 2,000 and 3,000 records at a time, so those plates last, a long time. Mm-hmm. So all of the records like Kiss Alive 2 or Alive or something like that will go, Universal will run out of stock on them, and you won't see any more stock for 2 or 3 months, and it's because they're doing another run. But there's absolutely no way to differentiate one from 2019 from one in 2014 because the plates are exactly the same. They're using the same jackets. No information has changed on it at all. So you wouldn't have any way of knowing if that was pressed in 2019 or 2014.
That's
so
right.
Technically, that's all a first pressing.
Well, and then there's another part of it, right, where you can really get down the rabbit hole on this stuff when you're looking at dead wax etching, the run out etching. And you start looking at, this is if you're looking at jazz Blue Note, Blue Note jazz records, for instance, they'll have a 1A, which means that there was a certain stamper or a certain time frame that was, actually pressed, that side of the record. But then if you flip it over, it'll be 1H. So it's, there's a story to be told there as well, but it gets really confusing, and in the, in the haze of history, it's sort of hard to know where this would have fallen in the grand scheme of you kind of where it was pressed, and there was obviously some significance to the stamped information in the dead wax or in the run out. So yeah, I mean, and there are ways to decipher how that all broke out as far as pressings and what plant and what stamper and what this and that. So it's an interesting proposition to really think about. Would there ever be a time that somebody could drill down and start really understanding? Oh, this is a Terre Haute pressing, and a 2C means that it was from February. I mean, I'm just making it up, but February, and it's the third press of that. But yeah, so there's a huge rabbit hole on all of these records.
Good luck. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough, especially 40 years or 45 years on, right?
Right.
So.
Nicholas, you got anything?
Well, it wasn't. Yeah, I haven't got anything particularly new. It was more something I dug out of the treasure troves, and I found these things, which leads on. Damn, they're heavy. And this box, but these things called albums. Oops, I think I just damaged them all because they all fell forward. But,
yeah.
VG
minus now.
Well, exactly. I mean, I did have these kind of ones that were that I used them to put up on my old LP wall, which I'll show up now at my old house. And I decided to reunite them with their contents. These have been sitting under the bed in a pile for probably about 2 years now. So I've decided to put them all back together.
I didn't know that vinyl was allowed in your house at all, Nicholas. I didn't.
Yeah, I
think
know. I know. Well, it was allowed under the bed at least.
Yeah.
It was banished under the bed, but the covers were
banished.
as mint as the day I literally ripped open the seal on them and put them straight into the frames. But I've decided to sort of start bringing them back, and Jason's helping me through a deal with his work get some get the rest of the original run. So I thought I finally bought a record player, otherwise known as a turntable in certain circles. For the house to actually to be able to listen to these things, because I haven't owned one since 1989. So, yeah, welcome to 2019. What's that? Okay, that's 30. Yeah, probably 30 years since I had my last record player. I've actually spun vinyl at all ever. So
vinyl will outsell CDs for the first time since 1986 this year.
Well, I haven't bought a CD in 10 years either. So yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So these are looking quite cool. Damn, they're heavy. Okay.
So Nicholas, this begs the question: Are you starting to get the vinyl collecting itch?
Not really. Like I'd like to just have one set. So I don't really care about when they're pressed. So if you gave me a mint 1974 First Kiss one, or you gave me if I say, well, the 2014 one has better sound, I'd say, well, I only want the 2014 one, and I've got it, and I don't need another copy. It's strange because that goes against everything I am with this other stuff behind me. But yeah, I think all I need is one good copy, and Jason's been telling me how great the 2014 remasters are. Yes. So yeah, and I've got the best version on vinyl.
Right, they're fantastic, and it's an easy way to just get exactly what you're looking for pretty quickly and not have to worry about just scouring eBay and these groups and trying to find the best copies of a 50-year-old record, 45-year-old record, something like that. So yeah, 2014s are definitely, if you're not a rabbit hole kind of vinyl collector, it's definitely the way to go. So yeah, so all I'm waiting on.
But yeah, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say
Nicholas, go.
I was trying to freak you out there. Every time you speak, I was going to do it.
Did you do it?
You go.
I did.
You go. What were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, like, I probably don't get into the super variants. Like, I've got, you can see, I don't know if that'll end up on the screen, but the little Aussie pillow, and it's got an orange back on it. I don't think I will chase down a black and a blue and a red. Okay, well, I've got the Aussie pillow, and I don't think I would ever be bothered to go into that level of variance on some things. Like, on some things I will, but not, I can't see that I really would pay, huge amounts of money for just the exact same pillow with a different color on the back.
It does beg the question, though. So if you want one of every release, does that mean you're going to go get Greatest Kiss and No?
Well, the Kiss room here sort of, it ends in 1982, except for the tour books. I don't have anything past that, so that's where I just cut it off. Is that when they took the makeup off, that's when Kiss ended. According to this room, not according to what I listened to. I still would listen to those other albums on Spotify occasionally, but yeah, in terms of making this all fit into one, my obsessive compulsiveness, this is everything ends at 1982 or early 83.
Right. So why did you decide to go all the way out with the tour books?
Yeah, Nicholas.
Yeah. Justify that, my friend.
Now, do you know why? Because I quite like looking at the Asylum tour book for a laugh, and I just couldn't. I didn't want to put it away, so I just like some of those. The tour book's very funny. From like the Crazy Nights one's very funny with the nurses on the bed and stuff. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I've gone back and forward. Sometimes I've just ended them at one point and put all other printed material in the stand, and then I go back and get the tour books back out again and put them out and. Yeah, I don't know. I break my own rules, I suppose. Yeah.
as you see fit for the day, right? That's how you break your own rules. Yeah.
Some people ride a motorcycle and just break all the rules, and I I pull out non-vintage tour books.
Whoa, here we go. Everybody hold on to something.
I'm crazy. Yeah, it's like, look out, ladies.
Nicholas has gone wild.
The fun never starts around here. Yeah.
The fun never starts around here.
Yes.
All right. So that's what's in the box.
Please, come and have a look at the things we love the most.
All right. So let's get into the top 5 essential Austrian items.
Is it Austrian? It's Austrian, right?
Austrian.
You go straight ahead and you make a left over the bridge.
That's a lovely accent you have. New Jersey?
Austria.
Austria? Well then, good day, mate.
It's right. Top 5 essential Australian items.
There you go.
Okay. All right.
Who's going?
Who's going first? Nicholas is probably going to show all of his items. So.
Oh no! I haven't got everything. So yes. Shall I go first? I'll go first on my first one. Yeah, well, the first one is, which I have got for show and tell, is the Vitabrits box.
It's funny, that one was just on the outside of my essentials list when I was looking up. I mean, look, I don't have any of this stuff. I probably would never chase any of this stuff down. I would take it if somebody gave it to me, but it's not anything that I'm actively looking for like you would be, Nicholas. But that one was, there was something interesting about that to me. Anyway.
Yeah, it's got that. I mean, I love the era, you know, combining brown and yellow. If anyone who's in design would say we're in the 1970s now, and you start hitting your browns and oranges.
For sure.
You know, fantastic. My box has got a lovely used by the 3rd of June 1981 at the top on the stamp, and you can see it's the usual Vitabrits. There's a girl munching her peanut butter slice there, and then you've got the Kiss put-ons pictures there, and then the headless Kiss, nearly headless Kiss on the back. Yeah, and then, you know, then it goes into the Rice Krispies, which will show up on screen, which I haven't got, and I have the whole set of stickers, but they're all back there, so we'll flash them up on screen for you. But yeah, basically it's not really a Kiss item so much as a Kiss promotion that Nabisco ran, you know, for the stickers. It had a great commercial, which will show up now.
Kiss fans, Kiss put-ons are here. Display them for the world to see. You're in this Kiss army now. Kiss put-ons are great on the special Kiss posters too. Collect all 9 Kiss put-ons. There's one inside each pack of Vitabrits and Krispies, plus 2 different Kiss posters on the back. And I know you. Get them now, with every large Vitabrits and Krispies.
And yeah, so this has got to be my essentials, just purely because almost everyone would have thrown these out. So the few that are left are certainly in the. I think I got mine. This is the priciest one I bought from a collector who was selling his whole collection about 10 or 11 years ago, and yeah, I think this was the priciest at $400, which is nowadays I'm sure it's a lot more.
So where is that on the collectability scale for you, Nicholas? If you were to say 1 to 5 on something like, is that a 4 or a 5?
I'd say this is in the 5 range just because of the scarcity of them. Like
it's that difficult to find.
So I mean, like, there's always those things, and especially with the Australian stuff, and we'll talk more about some of the items that may be on other people's lists, but when you get sort of stuff like this, there's heads and stuff, very tempting for kids to also cut out.
Sure.
And they not have got all the stickers. So once you start cutting out boxes, then the boxes are toast. You know, I stupidly, we'll go back to Masters of the Universe, but I used to, because I couldn't afford all the Masters of the Universe, I used to, Jason will remember, on the backs of the packets, they had all the little ones there. So I'd cut them out and stick them on my wall with blue tack. And then as new ones came out, so I'd have almost, it was like a proto everything Kiss. I had to collect them all, you know, had every little picture of them all lined up on my wall, cut out in blue tack. I obviously torched all those boxes to do it, and the rest of the box was thrown out into the trash. So, you know,
and the greatest
I'm sure people did that, you know.
the greatest part of this episode is the fact that I'm going to be able to insert Masters of the Universe stuff into a Kiss My Collectibles podcast.
Yeah. And in the After Dark one, you watch him insert Masters of the Universe.
Hey now.
Especially Fisto. So, yeah.
Oh my God. That is not where I wanted that to go.
Edit that out.
Edit that out.
Do you want me asleep or making smutty jokes? It's not clear in my contract for this show.
We'll take smutty jokes. All right. Joe, you got on your list.
Yeah, so this is one of those episodes that I'm sort of doing under protest because for me, this stuff is all cool. I love it, but it's just not anything that I kind of get after, just really at all on any level.
What's wrong with that?
And so, and then even as you're looking through and you're trying to figure out, okay, what Australian vinyl would you put on the list? There's just not that much that's all that collectible from us. I mean, there's the one obvious piece, but other than that, it's sort of, I don't want to say run of the mill, but it's kind of like, unless I'm forgetting something obvious, there just is nothing that, there's the Astor label stuff, but there's nothing that really jumps out where you go, oh, I gotta have that, So what I
think there's two good pieces of Australian vinyl.
Which one am I forgetting? Is it on your list?
No, it's not on my list. But
it's not on my list, so go ahead and say it. It surely is not on Nicholas's list.
Well, I think that you would want to chase the Australian Best of the Solos.
Okay.
Because it has a different cover. It's not
sticker.
And it has a sticker, and it's not super uncommon. It's not like
I guess that's that's what I was saying. Like it's not, not a holy grail or even like a rarefied piece in any way. Like you could probably
but I see them all the time in old record stores. More than I see any of the solo albums. I see the best of the solo albums.
But really, I mean, the Essentials episodes are not necessarily about the rarest items.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like saying what's when we talk about the essential posters.
Yeah, but it also doesn't cut that out because in the posters episode we had the promo poster, which is exceedingly rare, and almost every other poster that we had in there you could go on eBay and find today.
That's my point.
Yeah.
So I think like when I never really stopped collecting vinyl, but when I really ramped up collecting vinyl again, starting back about in 2009. One of the first things I did was I went out and I wanted to find as many variations of the Best of the Solos as I could, and certainly the Australian Best of Solos was something that, it was easy to get, and it didn't cost a ton of money, but it's a super variant, it's a super killer variant cover that's different than what you normally see. So I would think, on down my list, if we were doing top 10 or something, I would probably include that. So
yeah. I guess I don't disagree, but I don't know. It was just interesting to me when I was doing research for this, how on the vinyl side, there didn't seem to be, like if you're talking about Japanese, there's tons of Japanese stuff that would, if you're talking about collectability or, Argentinian or a lot of other countries, there just wasn't really much from Australia where if you're combining collectability and an essential nature of these things. So for me, I just sort of went through Nicholas's fantastic Hottest Brand in the Land book, and I looked at some of these pieces that interested me, and I guess so. One of the ones I think that's essential is, and I'm going to show the tabs off here in the book, but I think the Dunross, the Series 3 Eric Carr version of the Dunross cards, to me that's an essential collectability. Piece of collectible. The cards anyway that you would, taking the Dunross, you're kind of wanting to complete that set, and I think that's a cool add-on that kind of came out in Australia. So I thought that was an essential piece for any Australian collection.
Okay.
So there you have it.
So and it's not just as some people think it's the Eric Carr card. They would say, oh, they switched out the Peter for the Eric Carr, but it's actually much more than that. There's so many other, there's so many Dynasty era picks in that they've switched out as well. It is a complete new series. It just does repeat a lot of cards, and I still think it's humorous that they left one picture of Peter in there. maybe to justify his appearance on the box and on the packet, but he's card number 13, so I don't know if they were sending some Ouija kind of vibes there for his solo career.
And interesting that they didn't measurably change the box either, right? The box itself still had the inverted photo, and you'd have thought, hey, we're going back to press and we're coming out with another suit. You'd have thought that somebody would have corrected that at some point, because
the price is different.
The price is different. And you'd think, hey, we're making that change. Why not we're reprinting these things. Let's change all of it. Let's put a new picture of the band on the box and the whole thing. And that just didn't happen. So,
yeah, and of course there's multiple.
So I wonder if they only had.
No, you go ahead.
I wonder if they only had the artwork, because they actually did print the US series here as well, or they imported it out. But I wonder if they only had that artwork and just changed. I don't know. Joe just changed the plate and put new series on and changed the price, and it's probably the exact. I'd have to look at them again, but the rest of the box could be an identical replica to the first series box.
Yeah, that's interesting. Now that I'm looking at it from a printing perspective, it's got the 20 cents up in the right hand corner in black, so that would have been an easy strip out, right? You could have just put a black, set of plates over here, and then knocked out a new price, and that would have been it, and just in the yellow plate. So yeah, that's interesting.
Right.
Not to
so you had a box that said new series, and then you also had a box that was the same except the price was changed. And I think on the back it says printed in Australia, doesn't it? On the back.
Yeah, it looks like stamped on it.
Stamped on it.
Yeah, Denny Russell or something like that. I forget the name. Yeah.
And talking about the cards, they also changed the puzzle on the back of it as well. So a whole print, because that's definitely a different photo than the US version. So, but to move on into my list, this was on my list as an essential.
Cool.
I have the cards myself, but I don't have a box, and certainly finding you think it's even possible to find a complete box, Nicholas? You ever seen one?
A complete box? Yeah, that was the one that John had. The complete box. Yeah, that we talked about in the other episode of. Yeah, but there was no different. It was just the same. I mean, the packs are the same. The wrapper is identical to the US. So
right.
They obviously just had the same material. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess you would have to be careful if you were, if you were buying one of these off eBay and they had the new series box and they said it's a complete box, and they could have 36 US packets in there, and that would not be a good thing. You see what I'm saying?
I wonder if the gum tape was printed in. I wonder if the gum was made in Australia, and where the gum, with the US gum, was there a different taste to the gum?
Was there a difference on the packet itself, Nicholas?
No. That's what he was saying.
No, so you wouldn't know.
Right. That's why I was saying.
You wouldn't know. Yeah.
So somebody could take what we're calling an Australian box, fill it with
US packets,
US packs,
and charge $1,000 for it. And you wouldn't have an idea until you opened them up. So because I would imagine, because the boxes, the complete boxes in the US, for the US, of course, the second series goes for quite a bit more money. But the first series, you can usually find for, I don't know, $350, $400, sometimes $500 for a box. I'm sure if someone was selling a complete Australian, especially the box that says new series, and it had 36 packets in it, I'm sure that would be $1,000 item, and I've never seen one. I've never seen one.
No.
And you could easily, swap that out and take someone. So don't get any ideas, counterfeiters.
I was gonna say.
I just gave it away.
That's right.
How to counterfeit.
But also how to look out, how to pay attention. So
kiss my counterfeit.
Kiss my counterfeit. All right, so that's also on my list as one of my top fives for sure.
Yep.
So easy enough. Nicholas,
what's next? What's
next on your list?
What is next on my list? As I open my phone up I wrote down my list on my phone. I'll just pull it out here. The next one is also from Australia, the poster packs, which I have both versions of there. I've had this one for about 10 years, and this one for a little less than that. this one is the more rare of the two. These both came out in newsagents across Australia. Newsagents are very, for the people who don't know, are the same as newsstands over there, except they're inside a shop, so you get all cards and stationery and, and nowadays they're filled with magazines, but also filled with sort of they're very similar things to this, except modern day stuff for kids. So you get, Barbie ring, Barbie hairbrush, Barbie this, and probably a bonus magazine with them. So these little poster packs came out. Again, used by July 81. I don't know what the used by is because the candy inside is, it's like pure sugar. I'm sure it would last forever. But so inside each of these, you got a poster, a sticker, and as it says, tongue-tingling confectionery. This one doesn't say tongue. Oh, they both say tongue-tingling confectionery. So yeah, and so there's, I think, from memory, 8 stickers and 8 posters to collect. So you would have to get a lot of these to get the whole set.
And it's all random, so you don't know what's inside.
It's all random, so you don't know what's inside. What was interesting is this one came with 2 candies, which I then sold one of the candies for about $300 to someone who was missing one from his set. So,
are you serious?
Yeah, I mean, but I don't to this day know whether that some came with 2 or just his pack came with 2. The one that I bought had 2 in it, so I thought, I'll get rid of that. I don't really want that, but didn't really need that. So
Nicholas, can you explain what kind of bags those are in? Are those the original bags? Are those bags that you have them covered in and then they're sealed inside that?
Yeah, because as you guys know, that this is, if you had the camera facing the opposite way, you'd be staring at a laundry where there's a lot of drying and stuff going on. So I've decided to start to protect all my printer products. So it's actually, I've tightened that up, but you can actually see there, it's just a paper bag with a little tear cut on it. So it's very flimsy and just folded over.
So wait, how would I buy them at the store? Could I open up the bag and look at the poster?
But here's what's weird, that this version, the jean version, has, you can see an old tape mark on it, which I assume is the original tape, and no holes in it anywhere. But this version of it here has no tape marks and has a little mini staple from back in the day, which I'm assuming is the original staple. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I'd assume because we're descended from convicts and thieves that they would have something covering it to stop us stealing things out of it, as we love to do. So
they would have been sealed or closed somehow at the store. So you couldn't just open it up and look and see what poster was, put it back inside, and.
I'm not 100% clear, but on both of these they've either got a staple or a tape, and I can't believe someone. Okay. I can't believe. Excuse me, someone later on put that on there, so... Yeah.
Wine break.
Not this time of night.
All right, Jason, you're up.
No, I'm not. You're up.
I'm up?
Yes.
Oh, because you said... Yeah, that's right, because you said you copied off me.
Yeah.
So
I copied off.
Yeah. So, Nicholas, I'm going to need a little help on this essential item, I think. I'm not necessarily going to go in any kind of order. But these plastic masks with hair, I think, are just amazing. Is that on your list too, Jason?
Sure the hell is.
All right, there you go. So I just think these are so awesome. This is one thing I would love to have them. I just love the Peter version from the original cover with that original makeup. I just think it's so cool. So and I think the box is, I don't know if you can see it there, but we'll put it up. The original retail box that they were in, I just think is amazing. So that's something that it'll never happen, but if it ever came up, I would just love to have those.
Yeah, I reached out to Nicholas the other day asking him about a fair price for a jean mask, because someone was posting one in the group, and I would love to collect them. And I would imagine, I think he said jean was the easiest to find. The rest are, I would assume exceedingly.
And the reason for that is the jean came with the show bag. So a lot of the jeans that are out there on the market were the ones that people got in the show bag and got rid of the rest or whatever in the jean. So jean you would have had double, whereas the other ones were sold in the little discount stores and that. So they're harder to find. Yeah, I mean, if you look at them, they actually technically they all look like they've been modelled off that first album cover.
Yes,
like maybe
yes.
Gene's is a little different, but even Ace has got no eyebrows on his, and possibly Paul could be as well. But they all look like they've gone from that first album as their reference point, rather than you would have imagined Dynasty would have been the easiest one to get a better reading on, but they clearly didn't have that.
I don't know. I mean, if you look at the makeup on Gene, it's got the more defined points. Whereas on the first cover, right, it was more, it didn't really have the aggressive points. So I don't know, but
so
then
it could
anyway.
be, yeah, not too.
And then it has an unmasked. It has the unmasked photo on the retail box.
On the box, yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Seems like a lot of
I mean,
mix.
that box is probably that box is probably the last thing I saw where I went, wow, I've never seen before. So as we were putting that together, that one came in very late, and somebody goes, "Hey, have you seen this?" Which is some random Australian guy going, "Wow, like that was that was a one that I go, I didn't even know that existed."
Wow.
Or I didn't even know it came in a retail box until that one showed up. I thought, I'm this far down in research, I thought nothing else is gonna turn up now.
Yeah.
Because nothing on the forums or nothing on Facebook was turning up that I hadn't seen, and when that one came in, I went, I've literally never seen that before in my life. So
What's crazy to me is, so if you look at that retail box, you would assume that was sitting on a counter somewhere at a retail store, maybe like a party store, or kind of that store that you were talking about, Nicholas, the newsagent, right? And you would just pick a mask out of a stack? Like, how many were in this box? It's just it's such a bizarre way to... You know what I mean? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like, they were just sitting out there to be broken and touched, and, but what a weird way of displaying them and selling them.
Yeah, and were they all stacked, like multiple stacks
exactly
on top of each other? Or, I mean, how high would they go?
And it doesn't even look like you could fit that many because they have the fake hair, so it feels like maybe 3 would fit in that box, right, Jason? If you're looking at that photo, it looks like it feels like that would have been the retail box and you would have bought all 4 at the same time. And it would have been covered up, and that's how you would have bought the whole thing. But it looks like it would have just been open on a counter like at a pharmacy or a drugstore or a toy store kind of thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Agreed totally.
So
who knows? Yeah.
So those masks, I hate to say it, those masks were on my list as well.
Yeah.
You know? So it's interesting that even though you don't collect this type of stuff, generally speaking, Joe, that the things that you are picking are the things that are definitely on my want list, that I would rather have. The stuff that Nicholas is showing is exceedingly rarer, I assume, than the things that we're talking about. But, it's just the aesthetics of how these things look. And I don't know, the crop may cut it out, but they're over Nicholas's or over his shoulder on little mannequin heads. And I would just love to have that displayed that way in my display case. It looks so cool.
Yeah, they are very cool.
Yeah. So we'll move on to Nicholas. What's your third item on your Austrian?
Okay, Austrian. This is the last one I've got from my list. So the other ones I haven't got. So
okay.
I've always said this is one of my favorites. It's the Kiss ice cream box from 1980. I love every single thing about this. This is why it's one of my favorites. It's colorful. It reminds me of being a kid. It reminds me of even reminds me of the Empire Strikes Back ice blocks that were out at the same time that I used to get with the jelly tip. This one gives me all tingly all over for. Obviously, this is not mine from back in the day, but and this one's the Gene one, which it's even a bit ruined. Some kids coloured a bit of red around the side of Gene. I don't care really. He sort of actually looks like he's coloured the 10 in as well. Little bastard, ruining my collectible. But yeah, no, but anyway,
bastard.
Yeah. So whoever's done this version has put a solid block inside this, and then they've shrink wrapped it because it would not have come in the this. I assume because it's all bent, this would just kind of fall apart if that
Sure.
were not to happen. This would have come in our freezer section just in a box, but it's in shrink wrap for protection anyway. But yeah, this and the actual obviously the wrappers which came in long reams, so you get these weird ones. There's not an Ace and a Gene or an Eric or a Paul wrapper. They're just, you sort of get half of them on each one because it would have come in the one long print job where they just cut them as they go. Yeah. So, But I think in terms of, does anyone have something rarer? Is there some freak who's kept the actual ice blocks from 1980 in their freezer for 40-something years? That would be a thing to see. I don't know if everyone's kept the new 2013 ones, thinking they're going to be rare. But I'd love to see if anyone's actually kept the 1980 ones. And I think we know the answer to that. It'd be no. But
no.
Yes.
The answer to that is no.
So that would be on my list.
It's really beautifully designed too. A lot of times you saw, there were technical limitations and things that they ran into that, kind of and time and place. But that seems like a pretty timeless design. You can see that coming out today and being valid.
Even the way they're done, and they've got they've even got little flashes of blue on the head.
Yeah, the hits of color,
and the colors of the eyes. Yeah, Gene's got a bit of case of pink eye. So.
Oh, we can't go, dude. Sorry.
Holy crap! What happened? You got pink eye?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
He's got a case of the pink eye. Oh my goodness!
All right, so since Jason is copying off me, I'm up next.
I've got one. My next one's not going to copy off you.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, we will see.
I know it won't.
I'm going to be pissed if it does.
I don't know. Who knows? So I'm going to go with this one. The 81 Kiss Diary.
You son of a bitch!
So go ahead and talk about it. You go ahead and talk about it since you have it in your hand. This is one that I would actually like, that if it came up today, and I think, Jason, you and I have talked about it in the past, that some have popped up, and we've talked about price and those kinds of things. If it ever popped up, it's one that I would buy.
Well, it did pop up. A good friend in the UK, not a good friend, but a gentleman that I speak
collector
with,
friend, yeah,
good collector friend, yes, in the UK had reached out to me and said that he had this in pretty sterling mint condition.
It's amazing.
The 81 Kiss Diary, and it's got just killer little photos on the inside, you can write down all your birthdays, and you've got your weights and measurements and stuff. There's lots of little things here. Unfortunately, these things are glued on the end, and this glue dries up on the cover. And when I tried to open this just barely to see the inside, the glue separated. So I've got to figure out how to get that back together. Anybody have any idea? Because it's got these lines where you can fold the cover back. That's never been done before. I mean, it just made me sick.
I recommend trimming it.
I'm sure you do.
I don't know for what purpose.
Take a hairdryer to it or something. I don't know.
I think, honestly, Jason, I would take it to a local bookbinder or a printer and see if anybody had any ideas on how to reaffix that.
Yeah, I would love to get that reaffixed, but anyway, I just need to put it back in its plastic. That it he sent it over here in and just keep it. But anyway, the Kiss Diary, and maybe Nicholas can speak a little bit more about the origins of this. Do you know more about this?
Well, one story I remember about this is the one thing that must have been produced en masse. Obviously the tail end of 1980 being the 81 Kiss Diary, and there's stories of people going to like discount. I don't know what the American equivalent is, but Salvation Army, and I don't know if they do those kind of discount stores where they're run by Salvation Army and all.
It's basically like a thrift, like a thrift kind of a store where you.
It all goes. Then it goes to all the money goes to charity to help. Homeless people and that. But yeah, they would talk about like just boxes of them sitting there, like this guy walking in and seeing, just like masses of them just in all these stores, because they would have printed them all and no one bought them, and they just were, dumped. Like, yeah.
So you think, because in my mind this thing is pretty rare. I've only seen a couple in person in my whole life. But that's
what I mean. They probably couldn't sell, and then whatever happens to stuff that never sells, I'm not too sure. But
yeah.
I mean, there's a few things with that one. We'll show the little ad for it here. The cover was revised. It originally said Kiss 81 Diary instead of 81 Kiss Diary. They did a little switch on the covers like they used to do. My version's quite funny, because when I was living like inner Sydney before we moved to the mountains, that I'd bought this thing from Sweden, and I opened it up and the kid had written his address in, and I went, that's like Ashford, it's like one suburb away, and I looked it on Google Maps, so it's like travelled about like 6 streets away.
Wow.
Through the collector's market all the way to Sweden, and then made his way back to Australia, only to have really, this little kid lived, I could almost see his house down there, you know. It was so close. Like,
and his name was Nicholas.
Almost come home. His name was Nicholas.
Like Dave and Dave.
Yes, exactly. No,
well, that was
Nicholas. It was, yeah.
That was definitely something that even early on when I was young, you know, because I didn't hear when I was young, I didn't know a lot about it. Danny talked about it. I didn't know a lot about the Australian stuff that was, you know, that was out there. You know, obviously the tour book, the towel, that sort of thing. And this was one of the things that I knew about early on when I was very young, and I always wanted it, but I never, ever, ever saw it. I don't even think Danny had that back in the day. And
it doesn't even come up on eBay all that often anymore.
I never see it come up. And, you know, and he reached out and offered me a great price on it, and I had to jump, you know, especially with the condition it was in. I just love it.
Yeah.
Everything about it.
Now, Joe won't be able to see this at the moment, but you can probably have a look in your book if you don't damage it too much. But when you go to the autograph page, which has actually got all 5 KISS members, it's actually in the book itself. It's got Peter and Eric. But if someone was to show you these autographs, which will flash you up on the screen,
fake.
You would say, "Oh, they're definitely fake." Bootleg. You go, like, they look so, like, either they had them and someone traced over them in text or for the book, but they just look. They don't really look like KISS signatures. There's something weird about it, you know. Is that their lip prints? I don't know, or is it just someone in the production office? You know, who knows?
Yeah, I absolutely see your point. Absolutely see your point.
Yeah, fake.
So, all right, are we on number 4? Item number 4.
Yeah, I think so. I'm on 4. Yeah.
Go, Nicholas.
Number 4, hopefully it's not taking one of you guys' ones, is the 3D wall displays, which will show up now, the plastic ones. Yeah.
So it's mine and Nicholas's essential Austrian items.
Apparently.
Jason doesn't even get to say anything in this episode.
I haven't got any of these ones. Yeah, I don't own these at all. They're both great and slightly crap at the same time. The obviously they're giving a relief kind of like 3D version of the solo album covers. Kind of also by doing. Yeah. So
they're made of thin plastic, aren't they?
Yeah, and almost all the ones you see now, you're very lucky if you found a mint one, because, you know, they're pretty much made of the same plastic as a plastic mask.
That's what I was going to say. It's like you can imagine that really thinly molded, plastic,
right. 40 years old, you know, it's not going to survive. So almost everyone's got some cracking around the edge, unless there's some rare mint versions. But unfortunately, by doing that, it's really distorted the faces. You know, doing a relief picture, and you'll see probably on Ace is probably the worst. There's something that's made it wrong. Eric gets his own picture, which is trying to match the solo album covers, and for some reason he's got shoulders. None of the others have shoulders, so he doesn't really match. So it kind of that looks a little strange as well. They've sort of matched it, but not quite. So I think they're very super duper hard to get, and super expensive, and probably way out of my price range. That they'll probably be those 4 things I'll probably never own. So that's in my essential life. Yeah,
you think?
Well, yeah. I'm not going to pay $2,000 for those things. So, yeah.
Interesting. Jason, why don't you go next? Why don't you intro one here? Because I think I'm on my last one, right?
You're on your last one, and then this would be my 4th one.
Okay.
The other thing that I had a list of like 10 things that I was narrowing down as I went along, but this is not particularly rare or anything, you know, because there's so many cool things to pick from, you know, like there's so many killer Australian mirrors that I would love to have, and it's hard to narrow all that down to 5 items, but I'm going to go with the Australian beach towel for my 5th one, because the plaques are my 4th one. Now, this is not anything that's incredibly rare. You do see it quite often, but I love the beach towels. There's the 2 U.S. ones, and then there's the Australian one, and I believe there's 2 different sizes of the Australian one, right?
Yeah.
Right, Nicholas?
Yeah, it's just the towel that changes. That the print's the exact same size. They've just printed it. There's a lot of white space on the bigger one.
And again, this is I choose this not because it's rare, but because it was another one of those items that I was aware of when I was young, and you know, and when you have all 3 of those towels in your collection and they're just folded, you know, you can. I just think that is killer. It's something that. I pick it because it's something that I've wanted for a long time, and I don't have it. I only have one of the 3 towels, or as far as the design goes, I only have one of the 3, and the one I have is the 4 faces and in super mint condition. So I constantly watch those, and if I ever find a good deal on one, I definitely want to pick it up and add it to my collection.
And those come up often?
Fairly often. There's one on eBay right now. And
what's it going for right now? Do you know?
I think those usually go for between $300 and $400 or something like that.
Yeah, they're not crazy prices.
Yeah, they're not.
I love how we know that's.
I was just gonna say, yeah,
cheap,
oh yeah,
$400.
Yeah, $800. It's not that bad. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
You know,
I
would rather pay $100 for it. You know, but
yeah,
that's probably not going to happen. You know, for another couple of decades again. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. So that's my 5th one. What's your 5th one? Or Joe?
Yeah. So I'm gonna kind of cheat a little bit. So I've got 5A and 5B. I think one is pretty obvious. This one, though, to me, I just think these are amazing. The joint action mobiles. I just think these are incredible. They're huge. These are something that I would actually love to have in the collection. If you were gonna tell me, hey, name a couple of things you'd really like to have, these would be something that I just think they're so cool. They're so of the time. I think the art is great and kitschy on them. I think, are they sort of taken after the Marvel Comics? Is that some of the Marvel Comics art? I don't know. I can't really tell or remember. They kind of feel like in some respects they might be. But anyway, I think the joint action mobiles, they're very cool pieces. And only 3 of the band members, right?
Right. No Peter or no Eric or anything like that. And
no. For obvious reasons, they would have had to redraw Eric in that style, and they just wouldn't have had the art. So they would just left that one off. Yeah. By the way, it's strange that you say mobile because it's mobile, which is different to mobile. So a mobile is a car, and a mobile is something that hangs. But you guys say the same for both, do you? Mobile and mobile.
I think we say mobile maybe or mobile. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I think we say
it's not an American Australian thing. It's just Joe doesn't know how to say it.
That's right.
We would say mobile.
Buckless Nickland.
Exactly.
So anyway, let me cheat, and then so to me this is one of the essential pieces. The white double platinum from Australia. This was the one when we were talking about vinyl earlier in the show. This is one of the pieces that I don't know. I think it's one of the essential pieces of vinyl in any collection. Just an essential piece of Kiss vinyl in general. So there it is. Exceedingly rare, tough to find. We've told the story many times on the show that. Yeah,
I want to see inside. Yeah.
Yeah. So these. There you can see the drawings there.
Something about those which are really cool in themselves. I like the drawings.
Yeah,
I love it.
Super kitschy, super cool.
Yeah.
So there you have it. I think that's so. There's that to me is the number one essential for me.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, the those mobiles and of course the white double platinum were in my top 10 that I was having to narrow down. It is so tough. There are so many cool Australian items. It's just it's expensive to collect that stuff. All of it. It's
hard to find.
Expensive.
Just forget expense. Like even if money were no object, just finding some of this stuff is impossible.
You're right, Joe. I mean, you would have to, if you said I've got an unlimited checkbook and you weren't actually harassing people to sell their collection, you were just waiting for eBay, you could wait a long time before you ever got any of this stuff anyway. Like, not forgetting about having the money for it. They just don't come up that often.
Yeah, I mean, like, even in the last, maybe, let's say 10 years, maybe we've seen a couple of those white double platinums come up.
Not many.
Maybe one, maybe two have cropped up on eBay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Not
it's
many.
just, you just never, like, if you look on Discogs or Popsic, the amount, they never come up for sale. And, you'll look at the last sold, and it'll be, 1997 or something, and the price will be so radically different from what the prices are now today on those things. I mean,
right.
Who knows if this went up for sale today, given the market and what's happening right at the moment, who knows what that thing would go for?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I paid an insane price for it. It would be a doubly insane price, I would assume, if you tried to sell one right now. Just in the open market, it would go crazy.
Agreed. All right, so let's narrow it down to a consensus, our top 5 essential Australian items. Which ones did we have in common? Joe and I had a bunch in common.
Yeah. So why don't we let the Australian expert and the collectible merch expert sort of maybe set the... So are there 5, Nicholas, out of that group that we came up with where we go, okay, these feel like... Do we feel like the masks should be in there? Do we feel like the white double platinum should be in there? I mean, those feel like 2 that automatically need to be in there in whatever order.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, I think the white double platinum gets its place. It's nice to see a piece of vinyl actually making its way in. I think we talked about when Dave Scott had the Dress to Kill episode that the cheap papery kind of early Australian ones. I think Dress to Kills. I think that's the one I had. I asked one of you guys. I said I've got a Dress to Kill which is all papery. I wasn't sure if it was the in the insert from originals, but it's just the Australian copy. So they did it very cheaply. So I think this thing being quite unique and slightly different would have to make it in there, and obviously the price it fetches would make it go in there. Right. Instantly. I would think that the ice cream packs would have to make it in there. I think the masks would have to make it in there.
I think the ice cream, the popsicle sort of thing, I think has to go in there as well somewhere. Jason, you want to keep track of where we're going to put
That's what I'm doing.
Things? Cool.
Yeah.
So those 3 we think for sure. What about the mobiles or the Jason, what else did we have on our list? I think the poster packs are awesome.
I think Nicholas and I were on the same page with the what are they called?
The wall,
the 3D,
the wall
3D
plaques,
wall.
the 3D plaques.
Yeah.
So,
Did we think? What do we think about the poster packs possibly? So you see, when you go rarity, then it is. But I'm trying to make this list as something that's cool, and I quite like. Even though the masks aren't as rare as some of that other stuff, I think the masks are super cool.
And I think the diary too, for me, is an essential piece.
Exactly.
I feel like that should be in there as well. So maybe the diary is 5. Maybe the popsicles are 4.
All right, so. We'll do.
Do you know why the diary is also cool? Because it has 81 on it. It's like everything was 1980. It's something about that 81. You go, even though it, all calendars that come out in end of 2019 say 2020, but something nice about merchandise from 1981.
Yeah,
it's not really. There's something cool about having 81 on there as well.
All right. So if I'm correct, we have the diary, the Peter's ice cream, the masks, the 3D wall plaques, and the white double platinum. What's the order we want to put those in?
Is that 5 or is that 4?
That's 5.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, that's 5.
Say them again. So it's the popsicles, the masks,
the diary, the 3D wall plaques, and the white double platinum. What order do we want to put those in?
I think the wall plaques, I think those should go 5.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I mean, if we're talking essential, I'm not talking about collectability. I'm just talking about essential Australian items. I kind of even don't know if those would go on the list for me. But
oh, really?
Whatever. Yeah.
God, I love those things. Why would
I think
they
they're
go on the list for
abhorrent.
you?
I just
Do
think
you really?
Yes, I think they're awful. So yeah, I would never. Yeah, if somebody gave them to me today, I would turn and sell them immediately to Nicholas for an insane price.
Well, do we want to replace them on the list? What do you think, Nicholas? Do we want to replace them? This is where it gets interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what has made it to number 6. You know, the poster packs. You've got the Vita Brits. You've got a few other things that we mentioned.
The mobiles didn't make it, right? Did they make the list?
See, I'd bring the mobiles in there with their header cards as well. Those red header cards are pretty cool too. Like a sealed joint action mobile would be quite awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could almost bring that in, but I don't know.
All right, so let's pull out the plaques and replace it with
the mobiles.
Mobiles. Okay.
So that's 5.
That's 5. It blows. You know, to me, those cards. I mean, even though they're not exceedingly rare or super essential, but I get it. I get it.
The Dunross cards.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't disagree. This is a tough list to come up
with.
Yeah.
There's so many good stuff. So many good things.
Yeah. It's great to see like Eric on so many of those cards and those little photo shoots and stuff. Like there's something nice about them too, and the dynasty shoots as well.
And I think what makes those essential as well is the fact that you have Dunross sets, other Dunross sets. So if you're going to complete a set of sets, a set of boxes, or a set of whatever, you need to have all 3 of them. So to me, that makes them even more essential, right? Because they come in a group. It's not like it's a one-off, or it's it's not a box or something like that, like the Vita Brits or whatever. It's not a one-off kind of thing. It's like you're completing a set, you know.
All right. Yeah. Well, we have to decide on a final list. So let's do.
Don't we think that the white double platinum goes 1 or 2?
Yeah.
So I think
that'd be 2 for me or 1. Yeah, I think.
And so, what would be number 1 on your list then, Nicholas?
What's your number 1, Nicholas?
My number 1 would be the ice cream boxes. I can't. Yeah, the box of ice creams. Yeah.
All right.
The Peter's box for me. But I love that so much. I love everything about it. So it's very hard for me to be objective. That's always my number 1 Kiss one.
It's interesting. If you said to everybody, what is just in general, if you put a survey out there and you did a survey kind of a deal, and you said, here are our 5 items. Rank them in order. I bet the white double platinum would come up number 1.
Well, it just depends because, you know, I mean, even just looking at the amount of people in each of those groups that we have, Kiss My Collectibles and Kiss My Wax, there are way more merchandise collectors than there are vinyl collectors. There just are.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you there's a bunch of people, and even if you said it to Nicholas, who said, if you're going to get a copy of the white double platinum, you're going to pay $1,500 minimum, they would be like, you've lost your mind. Nicholas just said he wouldn't pay $2,000 for those 3D wall plaques, which are, you know, exceedingly rare as well. Would you pay $1,500 for a white double platinum, for any vinyl record for that matter? You know, I think there's a lot more merch collectors out there.
Well, I think what we should do when this episode ends, we'll come up with our order, and we'll just have a poll between those two. We were arguing about these two. We'll put up the white double platinum, which should go number 1. If you could only choose these two, which one of these would be number 1?
I think if it's that versus the ice cream box, the ice cream box is going to get trounced. I think everybody would want the double platinum over top of the box.
I happen to think that too. If we're fighting between those 2 items, because I'm a merch collector and a vinyl collector, and when I'm comparing those 2 items, I'm picking the white double platinum all day long. But if I'm comparing the white double platinum to the masks or the 3D plaques, I probably choose the other 2 items over the white double platinum. Yeah.
So you would take. Let's say
I would take those 3D plaques over a set of those 3D plaques over the white double platinum. Yes.
Money set aside, obviously, because obviously those plaques will be way more expensive as a group than one white double platinum.
Not necessarily. Probably $500 a piece, or a little.
I think Nicholas was saying like way more than that, right?
Yeah, I think you probably look at about around closer to 3,000 now for all four.
Yeah,
yeah.
I guess it is.
You probably look about 750 one now. So yeah, go. I mean, yeah, the ice cream box would be that'd be $2,000 now, I'd say.
No,
that ice cream box is really.
Yeah.
It's that hard to find.
And then you've got to collect all four. So you'd have to, if you could find all four of the members, then you probably look about $10,000. You know.
I didn't know that was that rare. That's
I've seen them sell in private things to some of the higher end collectors, and yeah, I have seen it reach $2,000 before.
Oh gosh.
Wow, that's amazing.
I mean, that kind of changes the.
When was the last time you saw this on eBay?
Well, I don't actively look.
5, 6, 7, or 8 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
I rarely see them on eBay. I don't think I've ever seen an Eric in 11 years. I think I've seen them in people's collections, but I'm talking about on eBay. I think I've seen a Gene and an Ace. That's about it.
Wow.
Super rare. So, your high-end collectors will be trying to get all four eventually.
But remember, we're not talking about collectible either. We're talking about essential.
Yeah.
So to me...
Yeah,
I don't know. Anyway.
Because because, to take your point, Joe, I think you're a little biased on the white double platinum because you're a vinyl collector. Is that the number one essential item from Australia out of all the collectibles?
Well, do you think if you asked a general collector, just name a Kiss collectible from Australia, any Kiss collector,
the cards
would definitely be in there as well.
Probably be the first thing mentioned. Probably.
Yeah. What do you think the second thing mentioned is?
Probably the disco bag. I always think like the show bags would be if some of the things that people remember more. If we're talking about remember, not essential.
Right.
So.
I mean, if you get down to it, like what I remembered from a kid, from Australian collectibles, the cards, the towel, the diary to an extent, but the tour book, the 1980 tour book. I mean,
it's interesting. It wasn't on any of our lists, but you would think that that's probably an essential item as well.
Sure. Sure.
Who the hell knows?
Who the hell knows?
Just put the list together, Jason. Let's put this thing out of its misery.
All right, let's
Popsicles
number
number 1.
No, okay.
Double platinum number 2.
You got it, Joe.
Dunross box.
No, that's not what we had. let me do it because I have it in front of me. All right, we have the mobile. We have the mobiles at number 5, the diary at number 4, the masks at number 3. The white double platinum at number 2, and the Peter's ice cream box, which apparently sells for $2,000 at number 1. There's our list of the top 5 essential Australian/Austrian collectibles.
But tell us how we're wrong.
Tell us, yes. Right. That's what's so fun about these.
Below and tell us how we're wrong. What have we missed out? And tell us, say, I can't believe you left out this. We haven't even touched on the posters. Is there an Aussie poster that you like, which was far more rare, or that you thought was great? So
those 4 posters.
Tell us what we forgot about.
Too. Those 4 posters are killer and impossible to find. So. But I think we have belabored the point many times in these essential episodes of, essential versus rarity, and not everything that's super rare should be an essential item in your collection. It should be just the item that everyone should have in their collection, and not everyone can spend $2,000 for an ice cream box.
So here's the question: Would the original Return of Kiss tour book ever become an essential item? And the reason is because no one will ever be able to afford it. So it's not essential, really. It's just
correct.
That's just an uber high end, almost impossible to find item.
Right. If we were sitting here debating the top 5 rarest items of all time, it'd be a different episode. But we're not. We're talking about essential items to have in your collection, and I almost think that you've got to go with many of the common items, which would be the towel and the tour book and the those sorts of things. So, but anyway,
so let's start the list again.
Yeah, well, let's start over. Yeah. No, we've solidified our list, and like Nicholas said, just like on all the Essentials episodes, wherever you're watching this, comment below in the YouTube comments or on Facebook your list of the 5 essential Australian items. Is that it, gentlemen?
Yep.
And Nicholas, we'll see you on the next one.
That's right. We'll see you on the next one.
You know,
yeah, exactly.
It's a time where you don't have any weekends or vacations.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a life. Or a significant other.
Or you have a significant other.
I don't know anymore. But
see ya.
I haven't seen her.
Last time I checked, 3 weeks ago, she was there.
Yeah. Sarah?
Yeah. She actually packed her bags about 2 weeks ago. So
yeah.
You just want to realize.
For some reason, her closet's empty. I thought she was just doing laundry.
Yeah.
Baby, your closet looks amazing. Tara? What do you want for dinner?